So I got to install the, I'm trying to install the rear deck lid, hood, whatever you want to call this. I gotta do the torsion springs. That's the best thing I could find what they're called. They're not torsion rods, they're torsion springs. Makes sense because they are not for like the suspension of the car or anything. They're springs for this, but they're still torsion rods to me. But so the reason why I took them out is because the old ones were damaged. They were that much damage, which it doesn't seem like they are. And when I bought the car, it was something I just made a mistake on, which, you know, you get excited, ooh, new car project, blah blah blah. But so this is your passenger side, because you have your for your electrical for the license plate. You know, nothing's really wore out. It's actually in really good shape. Someone else could use it if theirs was bent or destroyed or something. It might be a little something, but I mean, for what I can see compared to the ones I have now, it looks the same. Then you got this one that seems fairly good and everything, and flip it over and you got a big old nail welded, somewhat welded. I mean, I'm not that good at welding, but it's on there. It held. It didn't break or anything. Whoever ran it before, it was that. And then just now finding out, trying to swap out pins, that this, better angle, this side was wore out. This is what it should look like, and this is it. And the reason why I found this is because I was trying to take the pins out and try to find this pin for the top, and you can see there's a length difference, and that's when I found this was notched out, which I don't care because I don't have to use it. I was thinking, well, I kept these. I found them in my pile of random crap, and this pin goes to the top up here, right here. It goes through and it's held in with a C-clip, and this is what keeps that in. If it focuses, there it is. So you have to have it go in there. It actually goes in pretty flush. That's what it goes in. You know, there was a crack here that had to be welded up, so that is what that is. I don't really care as long as it works. The crack occurred when I removed these springs the first time because they were such under a load. It actually cracked that little gap between that and the other spot, so I had to weld them up, which I don't have the best stuff, but it is what it is. It shall hold or whatever. I at least hope. If not, I will redo it if it ever broke again. But I'm showing a video on how to do these because I got this one in thanks to a type 3 group, and a guy from our club here in town sent me pictures of his square back, where the springs went, because I was at a loss where they went. I had an idea this went here, but this end is tricky to know where it goes. It actually goes through here and then loops back around to come hook in through here by the roof. And so on this side you can see it's already in there on that side, so that side I'm done. So you get only half of the install, but I mean it applies to each side you do it, and I'm gonna pretty much show you how to do it on hand. So you have to loop this side first and make sure you go through this gap, and loop it through. It'll be a little finesse, but once you get in there it's good. And then you have to put the pin through that up top where I showed you where this goes. You got to make sure it's a long enough piece because the other one actually comes up short, obviously because it's shorter, but I mean, you just make sure you have them the right length nearby, because once you get this thing under, get it in there, it'll be loose, and then you got to put this end up top here in this groove, and that's where you start getting a lot of tension from the torsion rod, because you have to put something in between this thing and turn it up into this groove. And it's tricky because it wants to hinge in and back and forth, and it just fights you. But once you get it in there, you get up there, push it up in, and then you can actually pull down on this a little bit, and it should drop your tool out. There's a actual tool for this, or you can make it. There's a couple of pages that show the old tool, because you have to use the same tool for the actual hood. But I'm pretty much going to use extension, tape to another extension, and wear my impact gloves and safety glasses just so that if anything happens, because I broke my finger on the hood before trying to mess with it, so I don't want to do that again. So I'm gonna get my phone set up so you can watch me actually install the pin on the driver's side, and then I will put the extension in the side that I have to put tension on to get that torsion rod to go up in its groove, and hopefully I catch a very good video of it so someone else can learn from this or see it if they ever have to remove these, or if they're painting their car for show quality and stuff. I mean, it'll just help. They could, you know, actually make the tool themselves. I just don't have the steel here to do it because I imagine it's tempered somewhat, so it doesn't flex on you, because it looks like a bent screwdriver with a special little hook on there that attaches to the other side so it doesn't slip off, and it makes it easy to come out once you do it. But I'm just winging it, and I'll do this one, and then this will be its own video, and then I'll make one for the hood, because the hood, if you don't remember how you took it out and you didn't take pictures like I didn't, I should have took pictures. Thankfully I have someone who actually has a square back and was willing to give me some pictures of their springs, and then another guy for the hood who told me that I needed to flip the thing 180, and it was just kind of questionable because it's so much tension, but it makes sense once you get it in, and it's actually way easier to do the hood than it is to do the back one because the way everything slides in. This is just a little more finesse with tension in it, so it's kind of hard. So I'm gonna pause to get the phone set up and then hopefully get it in. So, long pin. I'm actually gonna show the other side first on this, which I have a lot of glare. There we go. So let's see if I can get that real quick. I can't see it. I can look on the phone. Oh, that's in. It's very easy, but you really gotta make sure you go through that, because this rod actually sits in this groove. If I quit moving the phone, this rod sits in this groove, so once this thing gets in tension, it should actually go in place. So we just set it over here to this. This is on the driver's side. Get my pin, the right pin, and if I don't block it. Hear that? It clicked in. If I wasn't blocking it all. No, I should have been good. So, show you pin being in. I haven't put C-clips on there, but there it is. I mean, it's pretty flush. It goes all the way through. It's sticking out on that side. So this is the fun part. Really fun part is I take a trusty thing, and there's some old grooves on this rod, so I'm gonna get that to where I think it's gonna be lined up with this, because this piece right here, that this rod has to sit in here, and you got to get this thing, if I remember how I did it. I think I did it like that, hopefully. Nope, it's not like that. So this is the fun part. This is the part that should make you nervous because your fingers. Put that like that real quick. Don't slide. Put my gloves on real quick, because it would suck to break a finger or at least blow it out. So I'm gonna fight with this right now. Didn't get it on that try. a shot. So that's close. Keep pinching on it. I'm gonna go try to bump it into place. It's not in there. Okay, it's in. It's actually in there, but see, my tool is stuck right now, so I'm gonna actually pull it on this, and my tool comes out. So, let's see. Now it's in the groove, like it should. Same over here. Am I showing it, or am I just looking at it enough? There it is. So, they're both in now. It actually went fairly. So they're both in, and they're under tension. Trust me, the thing's like freaking. It's something. It's stout, right? So what I had to do is why I pushed down on the torsion rod to get it in there. I had to actually push up on this. So this pushes in, which hinges it far enough back to get the other piece to go up in. And once you get up in there, you can kind of let go of this, and then you leave your tool pinned for a moment and make sure that this spring or this torsion rod is in this groove. And then once you know it's in there, you might have to, hit it with your hand or tap it with a hammer or something, get it in that groove. Then your tool will be stuck on this side of the spring, right here actually. And all you got to do is pull down on this, and it'll drop it out. I don't know how many people watch this video, but I think it's gonna be helpful. I couldn't find anything on the internet about it. It was really hard to find anything on Google Images of which way the torsion springs sit and everything. But for you, so they got a cross pattern. They sit up in there. Yeah, make sure they're in the groove. Come through both sides, and you do, like I said, you want to be able to know this is your passenger side, because you got your electrical that goes for your cable, comes out of the hole, goes into here, into the top of the hood, or the deck lid, or the trunk, whatever you want to call this thing. And it's how you can know which side goes side if you're kind of questioning yourself. But I recommend taking a lot of pictures. Be careful, this stuff's really tensioned up if you really have to take them out to do repairs or anything of those sorts. They're loaded. They have a lot of tension behind them, and if your fingers are in the wrong place, or if your face to the wrong place, if you feel like losing a couple teeth that day, if you remove them wrong, you're going to lose some teeth or busted lip or broken fingers or something. So best thing, use right tools, safety glasses, gloves, and that's pretty much it. I'm gonna pause the video and get the hood on, and once I get the hood on, I'll show you it all working properly. Okay, got it back on. Had to chase some threads, but it is back on. Look at that. Not too shabby, not too shabby. So opens smoothly now. Don't get that big ugly piece missing, or was in there, but closes nice and good. Torsion rod, everything stayed in place like it should. A lot of tension, but everything's holding up. No cracks in the weld. Just pretty much making this video because I don't see anyone else making video on that torsion rod. Some people are visual learners like me. Some people can read a textbook and understand it completely. I'm not that guy. So I'm just making this video on this 68 Volkswagen Squareback. Like I said, I'll make another video on the hood when I got to take it off, do work to it, put it back on. So when I do that, I'll do the springs just so someone knows how those ones go on too for a 1968 Volkswagen Squareback. I imagine that'll cover the fastback and the notchback for the front hood, but the rear hatch, it's different than all the other ones because the torsion springs are different. So I was making this video to help people, so it's just here for information stuff. So comment if you didn't understand anything. I don't know if I'll get notifications or not, but I'm just trying to do my best to get back at you. Like I said, I had help from one of our admins who has a square back in our group, who was able to send me pictures to show me where those bigger end of those torsion springs go, which helped out a lot because I couldn't really find anything online. Maybe I was looking in the wrong spot, putting the wrong things in, and I don't like reading through Samba or whatever that website where everybody communicates back and forth on or whatever, which it did come in handy for the front for the tool that I was talking about earlier. But like I said, that guy helped me out a lot by just sending me pictures of what those springs look like sitting inside of his square back. So I was like, oh, I'm set. I know what I need to do because I already knew from the front what I had to do for those springs to get in place. So be careful installing and uninstalling them. You may cause cracks if you do unload them real hard. So just keep an eye out for that and have fun.